Very cool. Hi everyone, and welcome to Drive Chris Capredoni, your source for automotive reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations. Please subscribe to our channel, watch the entire video, watch our other videos, and of course, click on notifications to be first to learn about new videos. I'm Chris Capredoni, and in this how-to video, I will demonstrate how to change the coolant in a BMW X5. Coolant or antifreeze should be replaced every 2 to 3 years in order to maintain the effectiveness of your cooling system. I will discuss the type and amount of coolant required, as well as the simple tools necessary. Let's get started. Hi everyone, today I'll be performing the coolant or antifreeze flush on a BMW X5. This is the one with the N55 engine, which is the 3-liter Turbo 6. What I need to do is I need to lift up and properly secure the vehicle, remove the bottom engine cover, and access the radiator. This, by the way, is the coolant reservoir. Again, I'll need to be opening it up, and I'll be filling it and checking the level intermittently after I refill it using this. So I'll get set up and we'll get going. So underneath the vehicle, I need to remove all of these star bolts. Follow the tray around and make sure to remove each and every one. There are several, right to the back of it. So I've removed the bottom cover and I'm here underneath the vehicle. You can see most of the engine now is from underneath, it's exposed. And I've been looking for the, by the way, the radiator doesn't have a drainage plug, so you have to be creative. So the lowest point of the cooling system is located, let me see if I can accurately point to it, is this right here. So there's a friction clip right there that you have to access from top side in order to not damage it. So once you get that, lift that clip out, you can pry this open using the part of the subframe here with a small crowbar or pry bar. So what I need to do now is I need to go top side, and I'll have to remove the radiator fan in order to have access, which is not that bad of a procedure. I'll walk you through it. So here I am at the top side. So this right here is the radiator fan, and you can see it's obstructed with this cross member and also the air intake plumbing. So the air intake plumbing needs to be removed. This cross member needs to be removed, which it just has 4 bolts, 2 on each side. Then you can lift out the radiator fan, which will provide enough access for you to get down to that bottom lowest part of the cooling system. So I'm going to get the tools I need. The first thing I need to do is remove the plastic intake, then the aluminum crossbar, and then disconnect the radiator fan, and then there's 2 clips that you undo and you lift it straight out. Okay, loosen the clips for the hood release mechanism, and then carefully maneuver it out of out of place. Next step is to carefully unclip the two AC lines which are attached to the radiator fan. Very gentle. You don't want to crack these. So they're loose now. Okay, and the next step now is to remove the radiator fan so that you have access and room to unclip the bottommost hose. Radiator fan there on the passenger side, which is the right side, there is one electrical connector which just has two prongs that you squeeze together and pull straight up. Now I'm pretty much ready to start lifting out the radiator fan. Now that the radiator fan is out, I can show you in more detail what I was talking about with respect to connectors, both electrical and mechanical. So here is the port for the electrical connector. It's just one. And then the fan has a connector on one side, and then on the other side, here's the other one. It's such a tight space that BMW designed this to be on a pivot so that you can pull it out. And then once you have it back in place, you put it there and then it clips back down. There are two clips that you press in and pull up. Now that the radiator fan has been lifted out, you can see where I have my screwdriver at the hose. I need to lift the clip out and disconnect. So now I have access to it. So the next step for me is to make sure I have a large enough bucket or buckets below before I release that and then pry it off. Just a little correction. What I ended up doing to disconnect the hose was I didn't try and pry it from below because I didn't want to put any pressure. It's plastic housing. So what I did is I came from the top, reached in with both hands and gently lifted it off. It came off very easy. And now I'm just letting it drain. Before you remove the rad hose at the lowest point underneath the radiator, it's advisable to first remove the cap from the reservoir overflow because you're going to be creating a vacuum when you try and drain from below. This will allow air to come in, which will facilitate the fluid from draining from below. All the coolant has now drained out. I'll have to measure how much because that's very important because I want to put in the exact same amount that came out. You can see it's dingy, so it definitely needed to be changed. Now this is not all of the fluid. This is a portion of it. So I'll have to repeat this process at least one more time, if not two more times, to totally dilute what's ever remaining in the engine block. So the next step now is for me to reconnect the hose and start getting it ready to refill the system. Okay, so it's all drained and I went from above and pushed the hose back into place and pushed the clip down firmly from the top so I know it's secure. So now the next step is to start measure what came out and then start filling in through the reservoir the exact amount before I start purging the system. Now that the hose is back in place and the clip back pushed down, it's time for me to reinstall the radiator fan and then put the top bracket, brace, whatever you want to call it, in place, and then the housing for the air intake. After you reinstall the radiator fan, come back down below and make sure that the radiator hose is still installed correctly and that those clips, see the clip there, on both sides is still firmly attached, because if it's not, that's a potential leak spot. You want to make sure that it's sealed up properly. And you can see in this case here, it is sealed up properly, which means I can proceed with the rest of the job. So the cross member with the four 14mm bolts has been reinstalled, as well as the air intake. All of this took less than 5 minutes. So now I can proceed to starting to fill the reservoir with new coolant and start charging the system. I've been filling up the coolant reservoir and I filled it up almost to the top, but I do know that I still have more fluid to add. So at this point, I need to what's called a purge or bleed the system to allow the remainder of the fluid to be added. So what you do is you get inside the vehicle, grab your key, put it in the ignition, don't put your foot on the brake pedal and push start. Okay. So, and then what you do is you come down here, put it to the maximum temperature and the lowest fan setting, which it's pretty close to it. And then you put your foot down, push it down all the way. And what you're going to be doing is activating the water pump. Okay, so I'll let go. Now I'll go and check. You can see it's a little bit difficult to see, but it is purging the system. And what this will do is allow the fluid to circulate through the system, and obviously the reservoir is going to drop, giving me the opportunity to add what's remaining. And I'll keep doing this 2 or 3 times and then let you know what's happened. At this point, it's still continuing to do the purge cycle. You can see all the air bubbles that are in there that are being forced out of the system. So I'm just going to keep letting it run until I see it drop, keep adding more, and then eventually I'll take it out on a test drive, but I'm not at that point yet. Once you've topped up the system and bled the system, it's time to take the car for a drive. After you've taken the car for a drive, what you need to do is let it cool down and then open up the coolant overflow reservoir and check the level. If it's dropped, top it up to full again and drive it again. Do that for a couple of days until it's stabilized. Once it's stabilized, then you know that the system is fully topped up and you're done. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for watching this comprehensive DIY tutorial on replacing the coolant in a BMW X5 E70 with the N55 engine. We hope you found it informative. Coolant is a vital fluid that keeps your cooling system working effectively and efficiently. Coolant should be replaced every 2 to 3 years or 50,000 miles, which is 80,000 kilometers. Some manufacturers will claim that coolant is good for the life of the vehicle. This is not true. Please remember to properly dispose of old coolant environmentally and also ensure to keep it away from young children and pets. Coolant is toxic and its bright color and sweet smell can attract unwanted attention. Please subscribe to our channel, Drive Chris Capredoni, and watch our other informative videos as your source for vehicle reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations.